Welcome to Season 4 of the Predator Podcast. Presented by Dark Knight Outdoors, our first choice for quality thermal optics. If you're a predator hunter or wanting to become one, you're in the right place. Here's your host of the Predator Podcast, Drew Schlim.
What's up, guys? Predator Podcast, Season 4. I have a guest from the far north today up in Canada, Connor Barnstable. I'm pumped that I was finally able to get him on. I've been following him for a couple of years, following along with his stuff, his tactacam FTS videos, cool stuff like that. So, Connor, thank you for coming on with me tonight.
Thanks for having me. Sorry for holding you up this evening.
All good, man. I just appreciate your time and coming on with me. And I know I mentioned you're up in Canada, but give us a little rundown of you, where you're at, and give us kind of your predator hunting start and how did you end up getting into predator hunting and obviously into it like you are now.
Yeah, so name's Connor. Obviously, I'm from the southeast Saskatchewan, Canada. I'm 30 years old. Just turned 30 this year. Time's flying by. Don't like it, but I started getting into predator hunting, mainly coyotes, probably 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And it was mostly like me and a buddy driving back roads, going into guys' land like that. We had the odd spot to go to kind of thing, see coyotes, shoot them. Never really got into calling that way, and then I started like watching YouTube videos and just watching how much more fun calling them in looks,
Right.
and like everything about it. I'm like, oh man, this would be so much fun. So first day I actually went out calling by myself. I just went to Walmart, bought a couple dog toys, ripped the squeakers out of them, and used the squeakers out of a dog toy like a little whistle.
No kidding.
Went to this guy's pasture, and he's got lots of cattle and had lots of like bad coyote problems. So went in there one morning, it was like 8 a.m, and I had no clue what I was doing at this time, like my first time going out kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I'm just laying prone in this field in the pasture, and it's winter time,
Yep.
end of winter, I guess it was March. And I just start going to town on this whistle, like a prey distress type of thing. And I called in, I called in 4 or 5 coyotes. I only ended up shooting 3. It was all separate times, but I ended up shooting 3. And I remember I brought only 4 rounds of a certain ammo that gun was sighted in for. And then I
Yep.
had a bunch of other stuff. So I shot all 4 of those rounds, and then I could have shot 6. So I'm like, oh, frick, I got to switch to this other ammo kind of thing. And then the other 2 that I switched this ammo to just totally missed. I didn't know where it was hitting kind of thing. I was just all over the place. So like after that first stand ever, I was hooked ever since.
Yeah. I can imagine that you were hooked from a triple like that. That's pretty awesome. What kind of gun were you using?
That was a Winchester XPR Varmint 243.
Nice.
That was my first coyote rig.
Nice. Oh, that's funny, man. I never heard of someone taking squeakers out of a dog toy. That's a unique one. I mean,
So
that's good.
yeah, so I always keep like I don't use them really anymore. I always have a couple in like the side of my bino harness,
Yeah.
just zipper, but I also carry hand calls. So if I'm going to a different type of sound other than the e-collar, then I just get on the hand calls of one of 3 that I have or whatever.
Right. Yep, for sure. Okay, so you kill this triple and then kind of what's the timeline to now? How long ago was the did you really start, trying to dip your foot into calling?
Uh, After that, it was just like, okay, I got to do something more here. I remember I got a prey distress hand call, and I just started doing a little bit of hand calling. And again, didn't really know what I was doing. I was going off YouTube and some Facebook groups, that type of thing. And then my buddy had a small, it was a Fox Pro Inferno, I think,
Yep.
and he didn't use it much, so he just let me use it when I wanted to. And so I used it lots. And I'm like, okay, I can't keep boring buddies here. And then I was successful with it. Went in like various different areas around here, not too far. Didn't have much permission yet, but
Right.
was successful. And then I was like, okay, did some more research on different calls and stuff like that. So ended up buying a Lucky Duck Revolt.
Yep.
Used that for the last three 3 years for sure, maybe four, 3.5, and then actually Lucky Duck sent me one of their new Revolt 2.0 calls to try, and I've been using that ever since.
Nice. That's awesome. When did you shoot your first one through the FTS, or where did you decide that you wanted to start getting those scope videos?
Yeah, so I first started like my old, I think it was an iPhone 11 maybe. I made like a phone mount for the side of my rifle with like
Yep.
it was all gimmicked together with GoPro stuff, and
Yep.
the footage wasn't really good, so I started videotaping like that. And I'm like, oh, and then I started seeing these tactacam videos on YouTube, and I'm like, damn, those are sweet. I got to look into one of these, and ended up finding one that, so that would have been uh, one summer when I started filming through the my cell phone, and then it was that winter, like over Christmas time, I was in a store and I seen one. It was on sale, the FTS mount, the camera,
Yep.
whole package thing. So actually, the fiance's parents bought it for me for Christmas. Now,
Nice.
yeah, like 3.5 years ago now. So I've been using that ever since. And then Tactacam quit making them, so I found a bunch of batteries. I might have been right through Tactacam. I just ordered a bunch of spare batteries, and hopefully this thing lasts as long until I get a different
Yeah,
camera.
you left. What's the other option is like a trigger cam, right? And they're
Figured-
a little more expensive, I
Yeah,
think,
they're
but
quite more expensive. And then I know a lot of guys that have used both, and they just tend to go back to the Tactacam. It's just I don't know if the quality's better. They like using them better. I don't know. The app is kind of finicky, and it can be finicky
yep.
swapping the camera from scope to scope or rifle to rifle kind of thing.
Yep.
But there's a scope mate camera too. I don't know where they're out of. I don't know how new they are, but that was another brand I came across.
Hmm.
And then other than that, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, you so I used one for a while and like I got some videos from it, some were okay, some were not very good. It seems like you have yours set up like much better than I maybe have like one, maybe two like solid videos, but it seems like your videos are all so much better than the ones that I got through it.
Yeah, like it took a lot of
It
actually
it does
one
take a lot of tinkering
finicking
with
around.
to get
Yeah, for
that thing
sure.
to look good.
Yeah, like you pretty much have to be sitting outside with your rifle
Yeah.
in the field and looking at what the kind of background you're going to be hunting in. So you got kind of have a better idea. Like a lot of time I just have it pointed out the window up in the sky, and if I'm swapping it to gun now, because I kind of just know swapping it so many times where to set it. But like the first time it was lots of YouTube. There's one guy that goes through it pretty good in the app, what to have your camera settings set to. So I kind of went off what he does, and he's got some good footage as well. And then what was I going to say? Yeah, it's just a lot of tinkering around and
Yep.
get it nice crisp. I know you have to take the eyepiece of your scope and take like a full rotation out compared to like if it'll be
Right.
blurry to your eye looking through it, but clear for the camera. That's the biggest thing is just getting the reticle clear.
Yeah. Right. Because I remember looking through my phone, like connecting to the app, looking through my phone to see when it was clear on the screen, right, for the video,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah. Yeah. It's super cool. I had one time that a coyote came running out and I clicked it on, pulled up, shot the coyote on a dead sprint. The thing was running, rolled it, it goes sliding across the snow, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just got that on uh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
tactacam, and then I pulled the video off of it, and like the delay, like it has like a
Yeah. When you
couple
start.
second delay. And in that time, it turned on just after I had shot. And I was
Uh,
so disappointed.
yeah, that's happened a couple times to me. Like the unexpected coyote that comes by, it's just kind of stop, and I first thing I do is reach for that button, and as soon as I hear it vibrate, I try to turn or whatever I have to do to shoot it.
Right. Yep. Yeah, the vibration is nice too.
Yeah.
At least then like, okay, now it's going, now I can shoot. Um, and you are in Canada. Do you have a season or is it open year round? I know you have lots of different regulations there as far as no night hunting, no
No,
suppressors, all the fun things you guys can't do. But do you have a season or is it open year round?
yeah, it's so in Saskatchewan, it's open year round. You can basically, yeah, hunt them all year, whatever you want. I don't know what it is for other provinces. I think there's certain restrictions, like, yeah, certain months, or else you have to be on private land. You can't hunt public, I think. Yeah, here it's just go as long as you have permission on private land, then you're pretty much good to go.
Right. Can you hunt them at night during a full moon, or you just can't hunt them period at night?
You just can't hunt them, period, at night. Yeah,
That's what I thought. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because that's one thing we used to do a lot back in the day was use, the bright moon and the snow.
right.
Because obviously now I'm just assuming, I don't know, but I assume that you typically get a lot of snow.
Yeah, like, well, the last few years we've been pretty shy on snow actually, but like a couple weeks ago we got probably 7 or 8 inches overnight. So, and that was after we just had no snow, like everything melted. We had such nice weather. So now we have nice weather again this week. So after this week we won't have much snow left, but
Huh.
typically we get typically we get a decent amount, yeah.
Yeah. Do you do you see changes like in the calling when the snow's deep versus no snow? What's your opinion on that? I mean, it's maybe especially this year, beans you've had you've had snow, you've had kind of the combination of all the above.
Yeah, so typically like when there's snow, the coyote calling's really good, and that's like my favorite time to go out is when there's six inches of snow. They're moving around, they're hungry, it's typically cold. And but this winter, like January was really hard calling, like not normal compared to the last few years anyways. Just had terrible luck no matter where I went throughout January. It was just nothing responding, not much coming into the calls. And I was just I don't know, it was different. It started to pick up pretty good in February and stuff now, but uh yeah, just slow, and end of December is usually kind of slow around here too for some reason, but January was unusual.
Is there what's the hunting pressure like in your area? Not a lot. Is there some guys that hunt? How's that go?
There's there's a few guys like around here I know that call, but not like as much as me and my normal hunting buddy. I typically go out, well, we typically go out like once a weekend on a Saturday morning we like to, and then if I have time, I'll go out one day during the week after work and do a few stands.
Right.
Now that we have sunlight a little longer, I can make probably 3 stands after work. But yeah, there's only a handful of guys that I know of that go out the odd time, and it's usually just winter that call them or whatever.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, and I think one advantage of like hunting with snow, especially as someone that only day hunts, you that that snow gives you almost like 15 minutes of extra like being able to see with that
Oh,
snow, and especially in the morning too, like able to, help you see sooner in the morning, and also just being able to pick out dogs, faster, uh,
yeah,
see them better, see them farther away. I'm not sure what's the terrain kind of. Are you in farm country? Are you in open ag fields? Or is it mixed? What's your kind of
yeah.
area like?
It's mixed. It's like open. open farmland. It's flat here in Saskatchewan, so unless you go further west, then there's some rolling hills, but like nothing crazy big. North, there's a little bit of rolling hills, but yeah, she's typically pretty flat around here. Lots of farmland, and I try to get into pasture stuff. There's like some community pasture, just guys with cattle and have pasture. Normally, wherever there's cattle, there's typically coyotes hanging
Yeah.
around too. So I like to
Yep.
get in cows and stuff like that. So
Yep. Yep. I totally agree. That's one thing too. We always joke about the cattle and there's coyotes.
yeah,
Um, like we joke about it, but it's true. Like
yeah,
it's always like that thing where you're going into a spot and you're like, oh, there's cattle here. There's gonna be coyotes. Like it's just, for whatever reason. Obviously we're getting to like calving time and stuff, so it's gonna be even more prevalent. But it just seems like there is always coyotes around the cattle.
yeah. That's typically when I hear from farmers and stuff when they're having problems is during calving time. So I like to. That's a good time to get out and with the cattle and call around them, and
Yep. Yep. What
usually
about
pretty.
the cold? Obviously, you're dealing with some cold up there. Like, do you have a rule of thumb for the cold? Do you like it super cold? How do you attack the cold weather?
Uh,
I'm saying like let's say like below zero type weather. Like,
okay, so that's I don't know what all this. We're in Celsius, so it's a little different.
oh shoot. Okay, I don't
See here.
what is that? Like 30 Celsius?
Minus here. So yeah, zero is about minus 17 Celsius.
Okay.
So I'll typically I don't like going out past if it's colder than minus 30 Celsius. So that's uh minus 22 Fahrenheit.
That's cold.
Yeah. And then with like the wind, if you get any wind on top of that, it can reach minus 40 pretty quickly. So
Yep.
usually like minus 25 without the wind is that's kind of pushing it. You're doing quick stands, 15-20 minute stands and go back to the truck and
Warm up. Yeah.
yeah, warm up, make a new stand kind of thing. But yeah, I don't mind the cold, like minus 15, minus 10, 15, 20 is not too bad if it's not real windy. And the coyotes tend to move around a lot more. Just and prey to stress, stuff like that works a lot better in the cold weather too. But yeah,
Yep.
cold I don't mind.
Yeah. So what I think is interesting, coming from somebody like yourself that only is able to day hunt, you will oftentimes, prefer that cold weather when a lot of guys, like obviously in the US and everywhere where there's night hunting, most people would really not prefer the cold weather because when you're hunting at night, they are really less active. At least
Oh,
my opinion, my experience is when it gets that cold, they're more active during the day. They prefer
okay.
to move more, hunt more, whatever during the day. So I think it's super interesting to hear like cuz like you say, that minus um 17ish is, kind of your line. Well, for me, I'm already like, okay, that's way too cold already for me. Like
Yeah,
if it gets to that like zero range, it's still pretty cold for me. So, you know, but it's if I like go back to look at my trail camera pictures, if I look at, you know, farmers messaging me that they're seeing coyotes during the day, so on and so forth. I shot one at 3 o'clock in the afternoon here one day, when it was minus 25. So I don't even know what that is in Celsius, but that it would be really
fairly
cold.
cold. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really cold. I mean, I was out there for 5 minutes and had to put my hands in my pockets to warm up before I pulled the trigger because my hands are so cold already.
yeah. No
And
kidding.
like
Yeah,
stuff like that, that's funny hearing from a day hunter because you do like that cold for calling. And all the people in the US that only night hunt would say, "Man, you're nuts. It's way too cold. They don't move." But I argue I'm with you that cold is good for day hunting.
Yeah, for sure. I'm in a group chat with a bunch of guys from the States, and yeah, they always bug me all the time how I'm just crazy for going out in this cold weather. And they're like, yeah, it's about 70 degrees here right now. And I'm like, yeah, we minus 40. So it's a little different.
Yeah, and I'm in Wisconsin, so I'm in the north, but like I'm in the southern part of the state, so it's still not, it doesn't get too bad here. We
Hmm.
did have some really cold stretch this year that was like, I know I'm talking in Fahrenheit, but it was like negative 20 and stuff here for like 2 weeks. It was just brutal cold and like it was just the worst calling and it was just rough. But again, I know the people that day hunt were killing them, and that's just, kind of the part of the game. When I first started, we used to always think the colder the better. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be piling into the call. It's negative 25 out tonight. We're going hunting. They're going to come in every stand, and we go out and do 10 stands and never see anything. And then, wonder what the heck we were doing wrong. And then, at some point I talked to somebody and learned that actually it was just that they just prefer to be more active during the daytime. And
Okay. Yeah.
so,
Huh.
yeah, it's just interesting. But do you have any tips and tricks for staying warm, or is it just shorter stands back to the truck to warm up?
It- yeah. Well, that too, but like layers, I layer on clothing. I wear a nice, when it's that cold, I have a nice set of like winter camo bibs, and they're
Yeah,
just from Bella's. And then, yeah, layers like a thick hoodie underneath, winter hunting jacket over top, toque if I need to. Typically, I wear a hat and just have my hood up and earmuffs on because can't run suppressors, so everything's loud.
yeah,
And then we were using, or I was using the glove, the glom mitts or whatever. It's like you flip it over, it's a glove.
yeah,
Flip the thing over, it's a mitt, and you can put the hot paw hand warmer things in them.
yep,
And then I got those got real worn out, and then I found a set of the Sitka incinerators gloves, and they're kind of the same thing, and they're quite a bit warmer. But if it's real cold, then I'll wear a liner glove inside of them too, and they're they're pretty warm.
yeah, yeah. That's important. Do you use like hot hands or, uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I'll use them.
you put them in the mitten?
Yeah, in the mitt, like the flat part, if I have
Yep,
to.
yep.
I've had to put them in my boots sometimes too, just on the bottom of my feet.
Yeah,
They help for sure.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, those are huge. I always have them in my pockets, like put my hands in my pockets, keep my hands warm.
Yeah,
I haven't had to use a whole heck of a lot of them this year. I've been kind of spoiled. But normally, like, I think the other thing is too that I don't like anymore. I don't, hammer it all night long. I might do, 2 to 5 stands in a night versus, going out and doing, dark to dark.
right.
It's just it seems like it's a little easier to stay warm when you don't have to when you're not out there all night long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we normally like on a weekend if we go in the morning, we start and we're done by like 11 o'clock now, and we typically only do 4 or 5 stands, and that's pretty much a coyote calling morning for us.
Right. Yep, that makes sense. What is your overall or general strategy for, I guess if you have one, do you have a win preference? Do you have a sequence that is your go-to all the time? How do you kind of approach a stand and attack it?
First thing is just trying to get the truck hidden a little bit as best we can. A lot of times it's just parking on an approach behind some trees or bluff if we can find, and
Because
walk.
it's flat, right? So that's usually a difficult thing is to get your truck hidden.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, not much for hills and stuff to hide your truck behind. It's
Yep.
think of just a normal flat farmer field and there's some bluff you can maybe go park the truck in there and walk in 100 200 yards kind of thing. And then yeah, I prefer a crosswind. I mean, wind in your face is nice too, but I've found a lot of times they'll try to work around you to circle you and get downwind. So if it's a crosswind either way, typically I've found it'll bring them more in front of you, more or
Yes,
less, I guess.
agreed.
Or I'll also have like we've hunted lots where the wind's like right at our back or kind of on an angle. So where they can damn near smell you, like that's worked lots too. They
Yeah.
have like winded us and taken off before too, but I don't know. Wind in your favor's big, I guess, but I prefer crosswind. And then trying to be as quiet as you can going in on a stand. Like it's daytime, so you can be spotted pretty easy. They've seen us lots, and most of the time, if they see you, they're not going to come in. But
Right. Yeah, and sometimes being quiet going into your stand with snow is difficult.
oh, very like, and this temperature changing all the time, it gets that hard crust on
Yeah.
top, and it makes it real noisy.
Yeah, for sure. That is tough. Yeah, I think that is a super tough thing to do. I think that crunchy loud snow can be one of the toughest things to try to deal with because there's no
Yeah,
way. The only thing that I've found, that I've done to somewhat manage it is just trying to hunt when there's wind,
yeah,
making sure there's, 8, 10, 12 miles an hour wind to help cover some of that noise going in.
yeah, exactly. I was just going to mention that if the wind is kind of against you walking in, then it can kind of muffle some of that sound, or is what I think, anyways. But yeah, I typically like hunting, uh, like a 5K to 20 to 25K wind. Anything after 25K is like I haven't had much luck with them like coming in there. I don't know if they're just not moving around much, don't hear the
Yeah,
call very good kind of thing. So it just gets a little tougher when there's like a lot of wind.
right. I gotta look up what a 25K wind is. 28 miles an hour. That's fat. That's windy.
25K, that should be
Yeah, it's 28.8 miles per hour. That is windy. I really what?
15 mile an hour wind.
Oh, it's 15? Okay.
15, yeah. So
Okay, yeah,
like
that's what my number is.
yeah,
That's what I always say. 15 is kind of my line of like, okay, it's getting too windy. I probably am not gonna go. If it's gonna
yeah,
die down or something below it, I'm just gonna try to go when it dies down or
yeah.
whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. What's your go-to sound sequence? You don't have to give specifics if you don't want to, but just like your
Oh,
like
I
spray
don't care.
distress, to what?
Yeah, so I'm not like real huge on focusing on like certain sequence. When does this sequence work better here, this
Yeah,
time of year, this time of the year? I used to be like that, like more focus on this sequence, pause, do this sound,
yeah,
pause a certain time. And now I've just been like, I'll run the same sounds all year round and I'll have like good luck all year round using the same sounds. I'll have like certain sounds and stuff I guess work better, like vocals and stuff work good winter and summer. Prey distress works better in the winter and
yeah,
fall. I've compared to summer and spring. So I like summer and spring. I hardly even touch prey sounds just because vocals work a lot better. Pup sounds, fights, that kind of thing. And then actually, I found um last year I started using like serenades, coyote serenades in the
yeah,
breeding season, and it's worked really good this year actually. And that's typically when like the pairs or groups of them come in, and it's I don't know, it's chaotic. It can get chaotic. It's fun, but yeah, I don't really focus too much on a certain sequence that works. Like if morning stands, I'll normally start out with howls just to see if I get any response, if I know what's in the area. A lot of times coyotes will show up without even responding. That's
yep,
typically what we do anyways around here. And then later in the morning, I'll maybe start a stand with prey in the wintertime and then end it with like pup distress, that sort of thing. But yeah, I don't focus too much on sequence and I don't try to the only time I'm pausing a sound after a sequence is to think about what sound I want to play next. Like I don't
yep,
let I don't let it pause for 2, 3, 4 minutes anymore. It's like maybe 30 seconds, and just get into the next sound. I feel like the more time you waste pausing a sound, not playing anything, is just that much time wasted for something to be coming into a sound that triggered the coyote.
Yeah. No, I have noticed that I have gotten less patient. I don't know if it's less patient or I don't know what it is, but I used to be super like 5 minutes between sounds, like
Yeah,
and I have noticed that I'm a lot faster through my sounds anymore. But um I do think at times here's an example. I was in a stand, my buddies, if they listen to this, are gonna laugh at this because they were giving me all kinds of crap that it was the longest stand ever and it took way too long and blah blah blah. And we were in this spot where we just really couldn't see very good. And I was really, really doing a lot of pausing. Like I
yeah,
would play, 1 to 2 minutes and then I would wait, 2, 3, 4 minutes. And it wasn't because I was trying to, you know, pause so they would maybe come in during the pause or whatever. It was just strictly because we could not see very much. And I also did not know what we could and couldn't see because it was a new spot. I hadn't been there, never even seen it in the daylight. So
yeah,
I wanted to play it really slow because I knew if something came in hard and charged, it was going to be a problem or
yeah,
likely a problem. So I
yeah,
really played it slow, just hoping like something would just kind of, come out and look or whatever. And it did, and it worked.
yeah,
Um, but otherwise, like if I can see good, I think I've noticed when I can see good, I certainly am going through sounds faster because like obviously if I can see a long ways or see, where I think, one's gonna be coming in, if I don't see anything, then obviously nothing's coming, right? So
right,
I feel like I
exactly.
tend to be faster through my sounds that way. And I noticed too, I was in Wyoming this last weekend and I would play some fight sounds and I would not pause at all. Like I would be playing one and then I would just hit play on the next one to go
Yeah,
right into it. And I had two different hard call-ins. And I don't know if it just was the new sound that triggered it. I don't know. I don't know if I didn't play that first sound and I only played the second sound, would they have came in just as
right,
hard? I
yeah,
don't know. But just one of those things that you notice and then you think, okay, is there something to that or is it just a freak thing? Is it just that second sound triggered them? I don't know. But just
right,
things like that that you pick up and notice and or something that you don't even do on purpose and then it works and then you try it
yeah,
again, you know.
exactly. Like that's a good example, from last weekend. Me and a guy that I don't normally hunt with, we went to some new spots, and we were driving to this spot, and he said he was there a couple weeks ago, and you sit kind of in a low spot, and you can kind of see them come over a hill on each side. So
Yeah.
you got to let them come over the front side of the hill before you shoot. And as we're driving down the grid road, we see two off in the field, 500-600 yards away, and we're like, okay, well, we'll head to the west a bit here, go set down in that place, see if we can call them in from 800-900 yards away. So we got the truck hidden good. We're sitting down there, and it's later in the morning. I'm like, if they hear some prey distress, I guarantee that they'll come in. So I just ripped some prey distress loud, and we waited there probably. I went through a few different sounds for probably 15, I think it was 15 minutes before they ended up circling all the way. So they would have been straight this way from us. They ended up circling all the way around, like over to the right side of us, I guess. And they came over the hill, and the hill was only like 130 yards from us. And my buddy, he's looking ahead, not even paying attention. I can see them right here over the hill, and they're staring at us. So I quickly turned my stuff, and I'm like, Kev, they're right there. So he turned, and he can't really hear me what I'm saying. Like normally, my buddy and I, when a double comes in, and I'm able to stop them, like our count is 1, 2, and we pull the trigger out pretty much right at 2. I'll
Yep.
just ask buddy, is you ready? Yep. Okay, you get on the one. Coyote, if he's on your side, I'll get on the one that's on my side. And it's 1, 2, pull the trigger, and how we'll shoot doubles. But this pair that came in and stopped, I was like, I told him to get on the right one because he was on the right side, but he didn't hear me say that. And I'm like, you ready? And he's like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm like, okay, one, two. And all you could hear was one click, like one boom. And like both the coyotes, it was like 5 yards apart. They just fell over like this. And he turned and looked at me and he's like, all I heard is one shot. He's like, how'd that left one fall over? I'm like, well, I pulled the trigger at the same time you did. He's like, holy, he just couldn't believe that it worked so well because he didn't hear me say get on the right one. And I got
Oh,
up,
that's funny.
but we didn't know like what sound triggered these coyotes to come in because it took, yeah,
Yeah.
15. So I'm like running through prey and then I went to fight and some pup distress. So they finally poked their head over the hill to some pup distress, but we had to work to get them in.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna ask you that. Do you oftentimes see them and then like kind of make a play to set up on them? Or often are you mostly just picking a spot, blind going in?
Most of the time it's picking a spot blind, like um, normally like the say typical spots that or areas I know where it's usually pretty good calling. If we're driving and I spot a good looking spot out the window, I'll mark it on my map and say, this looks good. Looks like we can maybe call coyotes here. But there has been times like we'll see them on way out on the other side of the field and okay, maybe we'll set up and try to call them in. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just, I don't know, luck of the draw, I guess.
Yeah. No, I totally get you. Do you have like a certain distance where I know you mentioned 800-900 yards a little bit ago, but like, do you have a certain distance where you get to where or feel that, you're in that bubble that you're going to get them to come in?
Uh, yeah, like, I don't know, sometimes if we're say if we're walking in and see them when we're walking in and like don't notice them driving in,
Yeah.
most of the time I have like a better feeling that we could call them in, seen them after we're walking in. Like if we see them driving in,
Yeah.
typically they've already seen the truck and
Yep.
be spooked or kind of have an idea that someone's around. So normally if we spot them and they don't see us walking in, there's a pretty good chance that we'll still call them in.
Yep. Makes sense. Yep. Yeah, that's interesting. And you mentioned that you get spotted at times walking in.
Yeah.
That's the worst, in my opinion. Like you get all excited, you get sneaking into the spot, and like for me, I've done it like setting the call out. Like
Yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
you
Lots.
you like got all the way in there, you got, right where you wanted to be, and then you blew one out right at the last second. And
Yeah.
that's a bummer. Do you guys are they often close enough that you like shoot at them, or like are you usually just screwed?
No, sometimes like we won't even start calling yet. They're close enough, okay, maybe lay down and we'll just start shooting or at shoot at one and
Right.
if like nothing else takes off running or we think we could call in more, we'll set up and still try to call. But yeah, like not a whole bunch. We bump coyotes out. There's been a few times setting out the call, and there's one in the next slough right in front of you, 100 yards, and he didn't see us. So you
Right.
sneak back to your setup and put on some light prey distress, and typically they perk up and they'll come in. We went to a guy's bull yard actually a few weeks ago, and there was I didn't know where this property exactly was. So when we came up to the yard, um, we went too far down the grid and stopped, and there was 14 or 15 coyotes in with these in
Oh,
cows, and there was five on a dead bull. And but a lot of them seen the truck on the grid road. So I'm like, yeah,
oh.
I just blew this spot. So
Oh
we
my God.
back up and hid the truck at kind of in the yard on the side of the yard. And we walked in and we were gonna try calling, but I'm like, it's probably not worth it. So we spotted like there was 4 or 5 of them on a cow, and we just laid prone there until we got two lined up good to shoot a double. And I think the first time I missed mine, Buddy shot his, so the other 12 or whatever take off scatter. So we just packed up. Next weekend we came back, did the same thing. We knew where to park this time. There was a few on a cow. We got lined up perfectly. And I shoot mine. He folds, Buddy shoots his. And then we're like, yeah, okay, we think there's two down. The other ones take off. All of a sudden we see his take off running with his shoulders just mangled. So Buddy had to lay in the field and finish him off. But yeah, that's fun when you can come up on coyotes in big packs like that, and it doesn't happen often, but it is fun when you see that many.
Yeah, I've only seen like that once and it was at night.
Yeah.
So not as cool. But yeah, I've seen a long time ago when I first started, I remember seeing some, fours and fives and things like that when I was first kind of into predator hunting.
Yeah.
Long time ago now, but yeah, it just seems like we just don't see them as much in the daylight here anymore just because they get hunted um so much at night.
Right.
They just it just seems like they're you just don't drive around and see them like we used to. But there's a lot of hunters, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of calling pressure, a lot of human pressure, just a lot of things that I think just make them just not be laying out in the open and stuff anymore like they once did. Yeah. Do you shot your first coyote with a 243? What do you use now? I know you mentioned switching back and forth and stuff too. Do you use couple different guns?
Yeah, so I ended up getting rid of that 243 uh this summer. I think I sold it because I bought a new 243. Like that Winchester I had was a 24-inch barrel. That's kind of what I wanted at the time, long barrel. And then now I've just gotten in the thing where, I like shorter barrels, and like I don't care if I lose some speed, whatever, as long as they shoot good.
Right.
Uh, like 20-inch barrels is what my two coyote guns have. So one's a 243, the other's a 22 250. And I typically use the 22 250 more. I just started using my 243 now a little bit more. It's new, but yeah, those are the only two calibers I reload for as well, just because I shoot them the most.
Yeah, same here. I That's the two that I shoot too. 243, 2250, and yeah, I shot some coyotes this last week. Because I don't shoot a ton of daylight coyotes anymore, especially in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
So I usually am traveling to go day hunt, and
right.
uh I shot a few out in Wyoming, and man, there's just nothing like it. And all those ones I shot with my 2250 just went completely stiff and just tipped right over. And I just
Yeah.
forgot how much I loved shooting coyotes with that thing.
Yeah, that's my favorite coyote caliber. Like I haven't shot or tried all these new fancy calibers everyone's so hot about, like 22 Creedmoor and that kind of thing. But I don't know, I stick to at first I was wanted to stick to what I could find factory ammo for easily,
Right.
and tons of 22 50, 243. And then I got doing it so much, so a buddy started teaching me how to reload, and then got into buying all my own stuff. And I'm like, well, I shoot these guns enough, like it'll probably pay off to reload for them. So, and it definitely does. I shoot them quite a bit. So,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And just like the thing is like I don't have to worry about running out of ammo. Like I
yeah,
don't have to worry, oh, I forgot my box of shells. Like, I just I got 100 and something rounds loaded up. I'm ready to rock. If I
yeah,
get into a
exactly.
coyote apocalypse, I'm gonna be good.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I typically carry, well, even though that I reload, I just have the ammo pouches just because they're
Yep.
less quiet, and I put them in my pockets. I usually bring, like for a morning, 20 rounds out with me, and I've never ran out because
Right.
I don't know, I shouldn't run out of 20 rounds just in doing 4 or 5 stands.
No, for sure not. And you cannot use um gas guns in Canada,
No,
or is there
all,
a magazine restriction too?
yeah, so both, all of our ARs here, there was I think they were first banned in 2020, 2021, and then since then it's just the list has just gone on and on. It's pretty much every semi-auto rifle now. They're going into shotguns, even certain bolt action guns. Like it's quite
Huh.
ridiculous what they're taking from us. It's so all I shoot is bolt action stuff for
And
I-
then
hunting
you
and
can
whatever.
only have 5 rounds or less in the gun.
Yeah, like I know for I don't know for coyote hunting. That's normally what I just have in the mag anyways, because
Right.
you don't need more than that.
Yeah.
Uh, for like uh big game like or whitetail hunting, I think you can only have five. I should probably read up and double check on that. Typically only have like three because you
Yeah.
shouldn't have more than three, but yeah, there's I know there's restrictions on certain like depends what animal you're hunting, but for
Right.
coyote, typically we have 5 rounds in the mag and that's good until we need more.
Yeah. Right. Yep. No, I for sure. Is deer hunting big there? Like, do you have to deal with like, no, you can't hunt here until like, can you not hunt places till deer season's over? How does the deer season navigation work for you up there?
Yeah, there's some guys that like keeping people off their stuff until after deer season or normally they're okay like early fall, but once October, November comes around, they're like, no, kind of stay off. I got whitetail here I'm after or whatever. Like mule deer hunting's big here too, so
Oh, yep.
but they're kind of everywhere out in past like big community pastures kind of in the rolling hills that we have here on lots of farmland too actually, but yeah, that's not that those are kind of hard to navigate or whatever compared to whitetail, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, and public land, is there much for public land up there or is it almost all private?
Uh, most most of the good land to hunt is all private. There is some public crown stuff and then the commute like big community pastures that you can hunt in, but there's certain dates you can hunt in because the other time people have their cattle in there. So you
Right.
can't during those months. I forget what the months are, but um yeah, so certain timelines and then to hunt certain public crown land, you have to have a wildlife membership to hunt in there. That's basically your written permission to be in there, allowable to hunt. But you
Huh.
can't drive any of that stuff, so it's foot only and a lot of restrictions on that too. So I typically just stick to private, get permission from guys, and they can tell me what I can and can't do.
Right. Yeah, for sure. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, very similar here. Obviously we don't have all the restrictions and things, but as far as like, yeah, there's small, pieces of public and stuff here and there. But for the most part, all the majority of the good ground that anybody's hunting around here is all private.
yeah,
And it's pretty competitive where I am. A lot of people hunting, a lot of guys hunting the same properties, a lot of different things like that. But um, yeah, it's just all unique and everyone's area is a little different in those ways.
yeah.
Like I said, I was out in Wyoming last week and like I don't think there was many callers, in the area I was in at least. Just from talking with landowners and such. That's one thing that always surprises me is like how do things like this not get hunted? Like they look so
Right.
good, they're so awesome.
Yeah,
Coyotes are trying to bite the speaker on the call, like
that's fun.
yeah, no, it is. And I assume now I'm just assuming from what you obviously you use the Revolt 2.0 and it has a decoy, so I assume you use it.
Yeah, like I see like some guys they'll just have the decoy on the whole stand. I normally don't use it until like most of the time I don't even use it. I'll have it just sitting on the call. But if I want the coyote to focus on something more, take like if he's kind of got his eyes on me or can see me, then I'll turn the decoy on to try to get them to focus more on the call and come closer to the call, that kind of thing. But yeah, a lot of time I don't even focus on using the decoy much.
Yeah. I noticed one of your videos the other day of one coyote was like coming over a hill and like kind of coming down at you, and it looked like it like had its head down, like it was almost like coming at your decoy, but maybe it was just coming at the call.
Yeah, that could was it the pair that oh it was the yeah, so there was one off to the right. I think
Yep.
that was when I told you where me and Buddy shot at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, tough. He probably seen us just because we were just in an open field there, a little
Uh
bit of snow sitting there. I'm assuming he was just looking at us and seeing us, and honestly surprised they didn't take off, but that worked out pretty good in our favor.
yeah. Are the coyotes up there huge? Or some of them that you shoot look so big?
Like a big coyote here is like 40 pounds.
Yeah, so that's,
We
I mean, that's pretty normal for, I mean, not normal, but a 40 pounds is a big coyote here too.
Yeah, yeah, like 35 and bigger is a pretty big coyote. I haven't shot many, like I've shot a few over 40 pounds, but like nothing in the 50s yet. But
Maybe
I
it's
would,
just their fur and stuff is so much like thicker and
yeah,
longer that
win
they look bigger.
yeah, for sure. Winter time here, they fluff up nice and they look huge, but I've shot, yeah, just a few 40, 41, 42, 43 pound, like that's it. But
Yeah. That makes sense.
hmm
I forgot to ask too, what bolts do you shoot out of your 22 to 50 and your 243?
I reload for the 22 250 the 62 grain Hornady ELD VTs. I basically bought a new barrel for that gun just to see if I could shoot those bullets, if it liked them. So I bought a faster twist, 8 twist, and started loading those. And it was real finicky to find a good load to get those things to shoot. And I kind of read the same thing online
Yep.
for guys shooting them in other 22 cal, like they were just too picky. So I just stuck with it and ended up finding a good load that works with Varget. And then I use Varget as well for 243, and I load the 58 grain VMAX for the 243. So that's what I did for my other 243 as well, and they shot good. So I just swapped it to this, tweaked the load a little bit, extra grain of powder, shot better. So that's what I'm shooting that too.
Nice. That's that one's screaming then. Um, okay, unsuppressed shooting all the time, unfortunately, but how do you like you call in a dog, you guys shoot it, tip it over, whatever. Do you keep calling? Do you continue? Do you hang it up? What's your what's your experience with the reaction to the shot, and how do you kind of handle after the shot?
Yeah, so normally if like we call one in within like the 10-minute mark and shoot one, we'll keep trying till like 20 minutes. If nothing by then we'll pack it up. But if we if we like shoot one around 15, anything after like 15 minutes, yeah, we'll just pack up the stand and go. But there's lots of times like you shoot one or two and like on the same stand, like they have like just keep coming in even though like there's loud gunshots. I was on a stand last year, last February actually, a new spot, and it I was up on a little hill and like overlooking a creek, frozen creek or river, and then the backside of it is all trees. So when you shoot, it was loud, like it echoed off all these trees in there, and
Yeah.
started calling. And within like 10 seconds, a pair came in. I only was able to shoot one. I'm like, okay, well, that was loud. I'll just keep trying to call. And a couple minutes later, another one came in. Shot him. A few minutes later, another one came in. Shot him. I ended up shooting five on that stand within
Oh my
not
gosh.
25 minutes, and I had five down. And like loud, I just couldn't believe they just kept coming in. And it was every direction. It was over here, straight over this. One came from behind me. Even I was like, holy, this is wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's funny. I couldn't even imagine because remember doing the same thing, like being out and shooting and letting it. and it echoing across everything. And like, there's no way that everything within a mile didn't hear that. But,
Right.
uh, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that bluff and stuff was just, making the sound like it was coming from somewhere else or something. But
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know if like that area people just tend to shoot or hunt pheasant and you're using shotguns and stuff a lot too. Like I'm not too sure, but like I don't know, it worked in my favor.
yeah,
That's all.
yeah, yeah, you take a couple more stands like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Is there anything that you do differently, like, than you think most people do, or do you think that you kind of, fall in line, or is there things that you think you maybe do a little bit differently, here and there that others don't?
Yeah, so for like people around here that call, I know a lot of guys if they're calling a stand, they shoot one, they just get up right away, they pack her in. Oh, we won't be able to call anything else in. There was a loud gunshot, and I'm like, and like one buddy I was with, I was like, no, like let's keep calling. We've only been here say 6 minutes. We shot one. And he's like, normally I just get up and go to a new stand, and sure enough, a couple minutes later, one came from his left side, and we shot another one. He's like, holy, that's never happened. I'm like, well, you got to sit and just wait it out a little bit longer, and typically you have good luck if there's coyotes in the area. I mean, locations, everything. If they're gotta be where they are, I guess.
Yeah, right. Yep, proximity, it's,
Yeah,
one of the biggest factors, in at least my experience with predators. Sometimes, like, it seems like sometimes it doesn't matter what you do, it just matters how close you are. And like,
yeah,
once you get inside that bubble, it's like doesn't matter what you do, they're coming in.
yeah,
Or, if
exactly.
you just hit that right trigger, you hit your pup distress, your prey distress, your howls, something, whatever it is, it's gonna work. And
Yeah.
that's huge. Um, yeah, and you I know we talked about your FTS a little bit. What kind of scopes do you run on your guns?
So both my coyote guns have the Vortex Venom. They're both the 5 to 25 by 56. Pretty pretty extreme scopes for coyote hunting.
Yeah.
Like you don't need that zoom, but I don't know. I like the big scope. I like the big objective, big tube. Just let in more sunlight. Helps for videos and stuff too. Low light conditions and stuff like that.
Yep. Yep. Uh, um, what do you think your average shot is? Like, if your average call-in shot distance.
Honestly, probably between like 100 and 125 yards is typically what we tend to shoot them at.
Yeah.
Like there's been quite a few longer. There's been some within 50 yards, like quite a few within 50, 60, 70 yards. But I'd say typically, like if I can get them within, I like to shoot them within 250 yards. So anything
Yeah.
in front of that is just a bonus.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100, That's nice. Do you zoom your scope in, or do you try to
Yeah,
keep it out for your FTS, or does it not matter?
yeah. So for like basically just for video footage, I tend to have my magnification on 10 power all the time.
Oh,
Like
gotcha.
set
Well,
on
because
10
you don't want
power.
to adjust it, right?
Right.
Because it
So
kind of changes the video. Yeah.
yeah. And then you got to be like on the ball too with the parallax setting.
Yeah.
So like if your parallax is off a little bit, it's going to make the video that much worse. So I normally have that set at about 100 yards because that's normally where we're shooting them. But if I'm going to take a poke at one farther out just for better footage, I'll crank it up and crank up the magnification just so you get the better image of the coyote. But yeah, there's a lot where you just don't have time and it's like, well, there's one right there. So just turn the camera on and shoot.
Yeah.
Hope for that.
Yeah. That's the problem that I had with the FTS is like I would never adjust my parallax because it would always happen so fast. Like, um, just because we, don't have a ton of opportunities to shoot them in the daytime. So of course when it does happen, a lot of times it's fast and exciting and,
Yeah,
you're excited and you just get in a hurry and then you shoot and then I'm thinking I've got this great video and then I go back and watch it and then
just crap.
it's blurry. I'm like,
Yeah.
dang it.
Yeah, no, it took a lot of times of like figuring out on stands to have enough time to do everything, like quickly adjust this and like most of the time you don't have time to range them, so it's just guessing, oh, I think he's probably 150 yards. I'll just leave it on 100 or
Yep.
adjust your magnification, whatever you have time to do and still able to shoot them.
Yeah, I agree. That's one thing too. Kind of you are getting your scope adjusted, you're getting your parallax adjusted. Uh, those are things that I think a lot of people would really struggle with
Yeah.
as far as calling in predators. I just had this conversation with my dad last weekend when we were in Wyoming. We had a hard charge and pair, come right to the call, and you know, obviously it sort of went haywire. And I told him, I'm like, it's really hard, but you have to be able to slow it down. Like you have to be able to slow this down in your mind to
Yeah.
be able to control yourself, like
Yeah,
because
for
it
sure.
is so exciting. And
It
like
is. And
it
I
was
was sorry, what was that? Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, like, it was like from the time I saw those coyotes to the time they were on the call, it was probably like 5 to 8 seconds, I would imagine. Like
Yeah.
they just came in so hard. And like
Yeah.
it just I know it's hard, and like guys that don't day hunt or never have day hunted, like that level of intensity in the daytime is so much higher.
Oh, it's yeah, like I've never night hunted, so I don't really know what that's like, but everyone says like they love the daytime footage better. It's just the guys that have done both, it's more like daytime's just more exciting.
Yeah, no, it's so much more exciting. It's more intense. You get to I think at least you feel like like when they look at you, like they see you. Like it's not
Yeah.
like at night where they're kind of like, oh, there's something over there, but I don't, really know what
No,
it is. Like
yeah.
they legitimately see you. And that is something that I find interesting.
Yeah, gotta act quick.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's just a more intense experience. And if you like are good at shooting coyotes during the daytime, in my opinion, going out at night, seeing them through a thermal, it it brings those nerves down quite a bit. Like
Yeah,
it's just not as intensive an experience. It makes those night situations almost seem, easy is not the right word, but like it's more controlled, I guess is what
right.
I would say,
Okay.
if that makes sense. Like you just
Yeah,
don't get that intensity, that like panic, that rush, that you
right.
know, uh, that you get in the daytime. Because obviously, one wrong move in the daytime, they see you, they hear you, they, boom, they're gone, or
Yeah,
and they'll take
exactly.
off, and you're screwed.
Yeah, just blew a stand. Yeah, no, it can happen quick, and we've had lots of times stuff like that happens. Like perfect time to shoot, or you think you can get a perfect shot, and the last second they take off, and it's like over a little hill and totally blow it kind of thing.
Yeah, yep, we've all been there, and that's one thing. Predator hunting, uh there's gonna be mistakes,
Yeah,
and we're gonna miss, we're gonna mess up, we're gonna I've actually gotten lots of messages in the last couple weeks of people that have made some mistakes that unfortunately, uh I'm like, man, you know what, it happens. Forgetting to load your gun,
yeah.
forgetting you know
Safety
that
on like that.
safety's on. Yeah, I did that one like 4 times this year. My safety was
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
All these things happen, and I think it's just important that you try to, learn from them, or try to not make the same mistakes
yeah,
twice. Even though we've
exactly.
probably all made the safety one or the not loading your gun one
Yeah,
a few times, but it still keeps you on your toes and keeps you guessing, and it makes it that much more fun in my eyes.
for sure. Like yeah, like if you're by yourself, well, I've been by myself lots calling and coyote comes in, I get him to stop, go to pull the trigger, oh, safety's on. And a lot of times I still have time to just figure out my safety was on, go, whatever, shoot it. But like when you're with a buddy, like a time this winter, I just thought of when we were talking about that. We went to this new spot, unreal area. It was just big, wide open area. You could see like 270 degrees, and then big river bottom, all trees in the background, 500 yards away. And we seen coyotes walking in there. We knew they were in there. Lots of deer. We set up in a good spot. And I don't know. I think, anyways, I was using serenades and a pack came in. It was like two were coming in and they were still looking behind them as they were coming in. So we're like, okay, there might be more that are following just a little bit behind. So we waited, and yeah, and there ended up being five coming into this serenade. And I'm like, oh, okay, like to my buddy Kate, I'm like, get ready. Like, you take anyone on the left side, and I'm just going to take the one on the right side. And they came within, two came within like 110 yards. And like, I'm just waiting for mine to pop his head up over this little mound of dirt high enough to where I can shoot him. And my buddy's is just standing there ready to be shot, full broadside.
Yep.
Finally, I got enough. I could see him enough. And I'm like, hey, you ready? He's like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm like, okay, one, two, go to pull the trigger. He shoots his. My safety's on. All four scatter.
Ha.
So I take a shot at mine as it's on the run, missed him, and yeah, we talked about that for a couple days after how pissed off I was. That was a bad one.
Yeah, that that happens. What I've had happen a couple times this year when we've had doubles and whatever come in is the back one always stops and checks up or stops on its own, and that first one is just coming.
Yeah,
And
had
like
that lot too.
yeah, and you're on, the guy on the right one's his is standing there, and the guy that's on the left one still full charge, and you're like, do I shoot the back one? Do I reach, and then you get
Yeah,
hung up between, do I let him stop? Do I shoot the one that's standing? Like, honestly, the way I anymore, like, because, obviously shooting suppressed, we don't get the reactions when when we shoot, like, you do unsuppressed. So, like, we do get a lot of opportunity, like, after we shoot that they stand there or they, like
right.
I've shot at coyotes 3, 4 times before they actually even, you know,
Realized what hit him.
yeah, or like actually take off. So it's like sometimes I think to I think back to that double we called in the other morning. The one damn near ran the call over, and the back one checked up, and I was just locked on him. Like he was at maybe 90 yards. Like I mean,
Yeah,
and I don't mean to make it sound bad, but it was an easy one. Like that was one where you are like, okay, this is a nice easy one.
yeah, for sure.
And I didn't, of course, because I wanted to let that close one check up and hopefully get him killed. But then he basically ran into the call and bolted, and then they both bolted. And then, it's just like it's a hard situation because I feel like sometimes that front one does check up.
Yeah,
And, then maybe you can get both of them. Or,
yeah. Just a tough call. Some in the moment, it's just what do you do, kind of thing. Do I take the close one? Do I take the one in the back and maybe get a shot at the close one when he takes off running?
yeah.
Yeah, I've been there a few times, and just heat of the moment, kind of just decide.
Yeah, for sure. You ever shoot them when they're on the full charge, like running at the call?
Uh, I have a few, not full charge really at the call, like more if they're kind of jogging in and they're not stopping, like I'm woofing at them,
Yep.
getting them to stop. I turn the call off, try to get them to stop, and so I'll just shoot before they get too close to the call and sniff it or
Smell it or yep.
smell it. But I've had lots like come charging in, realize it's the call or smell it, and kind of circle back and take off dead run, and then shoot them when they're like turning around to take off, or lots on the run, like uh, dead sprint taking off, like you missed a shot or your buddy shot one and there's another one. So like I've shot lots on the run, I've missed lots on the run, but it's more them taking off away from you compared to me shooting them on a dead run coming in.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I imagine like I said, if a double comes in, you shoot one of them, that second one's uh
norm gone.
hauling. Yeah. Yeah, I remember doing those things. So, um Connor, I really appreciate you coming on here and giving us your time and sharing your stories and your knowledge with us. Give us a little rundown. Where can people find you and watch these FTS videos that we speak of and see what you're up to.
Yeah, so most of my stuff I post is on my Instagram. It is, you can find me at, I got to double check it here actually. It's at ConnaB99, and there's 3 N's, CONNNAB99. That's my Instagram. And then I recently made a YouTube a few months ago, and I've just been posting a lot of like my kill shots on like making short videos.
Yeah.
And some have taken off, but I've posted recently like 5 times, and overnight it's just there's nothing, and I'm like, what the
Yeah.
heck is going on? So I'm taking a little break from posting. I don't know if I've somehow got shadow banned, but my YouTube is just my name, at Connor Barnstable. You can find my YouTube page there. But yeah, most of my stuff is on my Instagram. I have highlights on my account to where you can see, or on my main profile page, you can see under hunting or dogging. Most or all my kill shot videos there. Hundreds to go through there.
Yeah. There's a bunch of good ones, and
Yeah.
I like watching your new ones like that, obviously like kind of real time ones like from your morning or the day before or whatever it might be. I've enjoyed seeing those, and you kind of giving your little rundown of kind of what happened or how the stand
Yeah.
played out, and so on. But yeah, no, I think you guys will get a kick out of seeing these cool FTS videos and seeing what Connor's up to. And again, thanks for coming on, and thanks for making the time to come on here with me. And I'm sure everyone's gonna love hearing your stories and checking out your videos and giving you a follow. I'll put everything in the description below so people can find you. Yeah, but other than that,
Yeah, appreciate you having me on, and that was fun. Until next time, I got a buddy here coming to join me, I guess. So
nice. Sounds good, man. Well,
all right.
we'll keep in touch, and thanks for coming on.
Yeah, you betcha. Thank you.
Yep. See ya.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you want to support the Predator Podcast, check out our great partners in the description below. Follow Drew on Instagram at PredatorPodcast_Drew. Join the Predator Podcast Facebook community and keep up with real-time tips and tricks to keep putting fur in the truck. Until next time, shoot straight.